Hey everyone, Harry here to talk about the skirmish between Donald Trump and the special counsel over redactions to the appendix, the huge volume of exhibits and the like that Smith filed at the same time as the 165-page brief, which recited all the evidence that they want to use and made arguments why that evidence was not subject to immunity under the Supreme Court's decision. Now, recall that when they filed the brief, they moved for certain redactions. It was filed sealed, and the process is you say to the court, unseal it, but redact these portions. And the government made those arguments that basically Chutkan accepted. There is a general presumption of public access, but the government said, nevertheless, when you unseal, include redactions essentially for information that could reveal the identity of witnesses here. And that happened, and I'll get back to that in a moment. At the same time, they filed the appendix, and we don't know exactly how big it is, but we know it is way big, doorstop big, because it's the volumes of everything, the actual grand jury transcripts and the like. And the government also moved for selective redactions. When you unseal the appendix, said the government, there's some things you should redact so they're not made public. That is a broader set of materials than was the case in the brief, because there's a lot of so-called sensitive information, including material from the grand jury and a whole bevy, really, of different information that has been labeled as sensitive in the case. So the government comes in and says, here are our redactions, and please make them, otherwise you can unseal. What does Trump do? He comes in with this screed. Trump comes in and says, don't make any further unsealing. So it's not a matter of redactions or not, just keep it all under wraps. Why? Basically no reasons. So it just says there shouldn't be anything further done, implies that the previous unsealing was improper, and says he maintains his objections. And so Chutkan, logically enough, says, well, Trump has come in with these kind of broadside objections, but nothing substantive at all, no objection to any particular redaction. I'm going to do what the government asks. But there's a major difference here to what happened in the brief, which is Trump here says, if you decide, Judge Chutkan, to do this, we request 7 days so that we can take it up on appeal. And with that request, before her, Chutkan agrees. So she says, I'm going with what the government says. There's been no substantive reason offered by Trump at all. However, I will give him time to bring an appeal. This is really telling that Trump and team totally blew it last time around. I had surmised that how could they have let it happen? Why didn't they have things postured so that they were ready the second she unsealed the original brief, which after all, that's what contained all the basic information, revelations, argument. It really was the whole, soup to nuts summary of the entire case. And it just was open and made public with those few redactions. And that was because she had in front of her the motion for the United States that she approved, the opposition by Trump that she rejected, and no request for a stay. They should have anticipated this and had, as I said at the time, somebody standing by the elevator, because the Court of Appeals for this circuit is in the same building as the DC District Court. And the whole fight here that he had waged successfully for over a year was to keep from coming to light exactly what all the evidence was that is contained in that 165-page brief. So now really the cat is out of the bag. It seemed to me that that was a blunder. And I think what's happened here confirms it was a blunder, because now instead of, he's learned his lesson, but after the barn door is open, we have the 165-page brief that lays it all out and redacts only a few witnesses' names. The appendix is just not going to add all that much to it in terms of public revelations of things that Pence said and all the real bombshells in the case. On the other hand, you got to say that the brief itself, with all the revelations in there, doesn't seem to have landed with the seismic force that people might have expected, including Trump, from how hard he fought to keep it all from coming to light. There's been a couple days of news from it, and now the focus seems elsewhere. Now, we have in plain black and white just a series of stories that are really vivid of Trump's attempts to deny Biden his rightful victory and to keep the peaceful transfer of power from happening. They're all out there to be seen, but they're really not being the subject of a series of stories and the like. So that's kind of an interesting non-development. It's there, but it seems to have lasted a few days. Nevertheless, it's very clear, it seems to me, that what Trump wanted to do, should have done, intended to do, but didn't think it through in the brief was exactly what he's now done in the appendix. Said to Chutkan, give me a chance to appeal. I will shoot it right up to the Court of Appeals and the Supreme Court if necessary. And even if they turn down the requests, emergency motions and the like, to keep the appendices here or the brief before under wraps, that is still going to take some time. Probably will get him over the finish line in November 5th. And that was the whole delay game, really. He was playing all the time, and especially as aided by the Supreme Court taking the case away and keeping it for 9 months. So really, this is a bit of an afterthought. The cat is out of the bag. It will have, however, whatever influence it will in the public's determination of whom to vote for and how to take account of Trump's conduct. Now, as far as the appendix goes, you can expect him to make an appeal within 7 days, and probably that'll be enough time. If he's denied there, take it to the full Court of Appeals for D.C., Supreme Court, to even if he is denied all the way through, to get it past November 5th. We'll see about that. The stakes of it all, though, much diminished since the brief itself has been made public. Talk to you later. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video and other Talking Feds content, please take a second to like and subscribe. Talk to you later.